Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes, tamu sana. The just concluded UDA nominations are still generating a lot of political heat and debate. Wangui Ngirici, taking to our social media accounts, made a post I want us to have a look here, for it's going to form the basis of our analysis and discussion right now. Wangui Ngirici. Kajaribu kupanga watu huyu, lakini kapangwa mapema. Over to you in Laikipia. And then Wangui Ngirici shares that video.
Tuko na wamama watatu wa nguvu. Mmoja wao anaitwa Wangari Karoa, mwingine ni Anne Waiguru, mwingine ni Ngirici. Mimi nataka kuuliza wanawake wenzangu, hatuwezi make one game alafu tupoteze ile nyingine. Wamama ambao ni mfano bora Kenya ni wanawake wa Kirinyaga. Nataka tuketi chini tukunywe chai, tuongee, tujipange kwa UDA. Ikiwezekana Waiguru aendelee governor, Ngirici na yeye ajipange, Karoa na yeye ajipange. Ama namna gani? Kagio!
Yes. From that short video, Cate Waruguru is clearly pangering the ground. But she's missing the point, because as she pangas the ground, she's also inciting the ground against Kutopangwa. Yes, Hatupangwingwi. So there is a silent majority who might be listening. And they are listening to Cate Waruguru as she tells them, Musikubali kupangwa. And then Cate Waruguru, ironically, goes ahead kupanga that ground. So the silent majority actually teaches Cate Waruguru a lesson in Laikipia. They reject her. And the moral of that, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes these politicians can use some narratives they think cannot actually backfire on them. And I'm seeing that narrative of Hatupangwingwi being very lethal and very dangerous against William Ruto on the mountain. William Ruto is very active telling residents of Mount Kenya Hatupangwingwi. In fact, the song is even more louder on the mountain than in Kalenjin Rift Valley. And as William Ruto incites the ground against Kutopangwa, it's also very interesting that the same William Ruto goes ahead kupanga that ground. Yes. And just as in the case of Cate Waruguru, I know there might be a silent majority keenly listening to William Ruto as William Ruto tells them, Musikubali kupangwa. And that silent majority, I know, are seeing for themselves that William Ruto anawapanga kweli kweli. And I'm saying that because look at the mountain leaders supporting William Ruto. Almost all of them got direct or went unopposed. And that is something that anybody will tell you that that's not a reflection of what is on the ground. A good chunk of these leaders, in every election, they are always sent home. So the mere fact that William Ruto is giving a majority of these leaders on the mountain direct party tickets is just an indication that William Ruto might be going against what is on the ground. So in August election, a good majority of these leaders actually supporting William Ruto, maybe they will all be sent home. And I'm saying they will be sent home, and I'm also talking about the silent majority, because if you look at the other nominations on the mountain, there was a very serious voter apathy there. A good majority of residents of Mount Kenya gave other nominations a wide berth, in spite of the fact that any other person who had an ID, you were allowed to vote. That's how Oda carried their nominations on the mountain. Anybody who had an ID was allowed to vote. But now let's just take an example of Nyeri Town constituency. And I did also explain that yesterday. In Nyeri Town constituency, The winner of that parliamentary seat, Nyeri Town, only got 3,000 votes, my friends. While in 2017, the winner had 17,000 votes. And then in Kiambu County, Kiambu has over 1 million votes. The winner of gubernatorial seat, or rather the winner of order ticket for that gubernatorial seat, Wamatangi, had about 68,000 votes only out of over 1.2 million votes. In 2017, the winner Waititu had over 350,000 votes. So you can just see the serious apathy that William Ruto is most likely facing on the mountain. And that serious voter apathy can show us clearly, ladies and gentlemen, that something is not adding up very well on the mountain. So this Hatupangwingwi chorus, William Ruto might be singing on the mountain. This is a chorus that most likely will backfire against William Ruto at the right time. Yes, at the right time, that silent majority, something tells me very strongly, the silent majority will reject William Ruto kwa kuwapanga. Yes. And actually, before we continue, let's listen into Isaac Mwaura talking about how other nominations were done.
Do you have an election that doesn't have a voter register, that anybody with an ID can vote? What is the integrity of such an election? So I think that really compromises, because that was the directive that was given in the midst of that election, and it was rather unfortunate, because then anyone then would qualify to vote.
Yes, that's how other nominations were done. Some people yesterday were asking me which formula was Oda using on the mountain that might have resulted into that low voter turnout. You know, ODM party, in some areas they were using only registered members of ODM to elect the candidates. But for Oda on the mountain, any person who had an ID was allowed to vote. So you cannot say that the apathy was as a result of only registered members of UDA. Anybody who had an ID and you were in Kiambu or on the mountain, you were allowed to vote. Even me, if I was there, could have been allowed to vote. But still, there was that serious voter apathy. A turnout of less than 5%. That is something, ladies and gentlemen, that cannot be taken lightly. There is a serious problem on the mountain. And just as I did state yesterday, the mere fact that William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta have parted ways politically, Kenyans should not assume that that is something that is going to augur very negatively against William Ruto. And I won't be wrong, and I still maintain right now, that the mountain, by August this year, I'm seeing the mountain to a near supermajority going the direction of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And actually, they just concluded with the nominations, also just proves what I'm trying to say. That serious voter apathy, ladies and gentlemen, really speaks volumes. So from where I sit, the mountain most likely will go the direction of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then secondly, on this issue of Hatupangwingwi, you know, that is the chorus William Ruto is aggressively using. In fact, just some few days ago, he even released a song on Hatupangwingwi. So that seems to be the chorus William Ruto is aggressively using. And for those who have been keenly following me, I've always maintained that William Ruto is not a very smart politician. William Ruto does not always look at the bigger picture. William Ruto is an emotional leader. He actually talks without looking at the bigger picture. That Hatupangwingwi is going to affect William Ruto very, very badly in terms of voting. And I'm saying that because also if you look at a place like Wasengishu, where William Ruto comes from, yeah, other nominations yesterday, Koti Moja won the nomination for Governor Wasengishu. And then there is Buzeki going as an independent candidate. And then we have William Ruto telling their supporters Hatupangwingwi. So I'm seeing a high possibility where in Uasin Gishu County, a good majority of those residents might actually decide to go the independent way. Because now if they go the other way, in one way or the other, wanapangwa, lazima wapigie mtu wa UDA. If they decide to go the independent way, then they are free. Hawapangwingwi na mtu. And already I've been very keen today, going through some political pages, especially these groups from Uasin Gishu. A good majority, or rather in those groups, a good majority, and for those who have gone through such will agree with me, a good majority of Uasin Gishu residents in those various Uasin Gishu groups, they prefer Buzeki, who is actually going as an independent candidate. And some are preferring Buzeki, saying Hatupangwingwi. So in a nutshell, for somebody looking at politics deeply, this narrative of Hatupangwingwi, William Ruto is using it without looking at the bigger picture. That is a narrative that maybe a politician who wants to convince the masses actually to elect, or rather to elect him and elect leaders around him, such kind of a politician should not be using that kind of a term. That is a term that can incite the masses against party establishments. And William Ruto will also not escape that wrath from the ground. Yes, he won't escape that wrath. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, just as I did state when we were starting, in case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans, our subscribers here, God bless you, God bless Kenya. And as I conclude back to Wangui Ngirici is just mocking Cate Waruguru. For Cate Waruguru thought angepanga raia, sasa hao raia wamempanga. And the same can also apply to William Ruto. William Ruto anaambia raia wasipangwe, yeye anaenda napanga raia, not knowing that that same raia may watampanga may become August this year's election. God bless you, God bless Kenya.